is your Professor Karriemah Lotus, and this is BBI Talks, episode 17, Black Business in Containers. And of course, we're talking about shipping containers, y'all. I mean, how dope is that? Anybody out there that's spending crazy money on storefronts should slap yourself right now, just like that. Because we're going to learn about how two brilliant Black business owners have taken shipping containers and turned it on its ear, and is just making ridiculous amounts of money and just doing it big in shipping containers. You know what it is. It's BBI Talks.
We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad, they gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man, get what I need out of the land. The earth is the kingdom of God. Glad that I know where I am. We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad, they gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out of the land. Glad that I know where I am.
What's up, y'all? BBI Talks, and here is our first extra special guest, Sister LEAH Holmes of Synergy Foods, y'all.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, man, thank you, sis. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. We appreciate you. So now, okay, so you are in what's considered to be historic Bronzeville in Chi-Town. Yes. Go ahead, throw up your C's. I know how y'all do. Go ahead. It's all right. It's all right. We show everybody love, right? And so your business is in what's considered to be historic Bronzeville. So tell us first a little bit about your business and how is it that you ended up having your business established in historic Bronzeville?
Awesome. So I'll start with how we got started. My business, we started in 2013. Just started with some friends talking about the frustration of living in a food desert. And that's kind of how we got our start. Well, how I got my start. I say our start because we're going to have a big our team. But how I started was in the front yard of my house. I was living on 68th and Dorchester, and had learned about the produce distribution system, how the suppliers work in the city of Chicago. And I just started hosting markets in my front yard. And from there, I would do pop-ups throughout the city of Chicago and in communities that were labeled as food deserts. And then over time, we just kind of grew into some other things. And that's how we landed here into Bronzeville area. We're a part of a collective of different enterprises, and we are all in shipping containers through the Bronzeville incubator space, Bronzeville. So that's how we got here. The founder of the area has about 13 shipping containers, all different various sizes, and all just young Black businesses. So I joined last June, and it's been awesome.
Oh, wow. That sounds tremendous. So now, okay, so it's an incubator. So kind of step us through. Is there like an application process, or is it kind of, they heard about you and they said, you got to be here? How did that come about?
You know, it kind of worked both ways. I have some friends who have been here since the inception. And so that's probably for like the last 6-7 years. And they've been just kind of pushing through. And so they told me about the opportunity. My niece was here, her business is here, and she's like, this is a great place for you to get your start. There's an incubator space next door. They'll help you with all of the logistics in terms of helping your business really grow. And so we saw that it was a great opportunity. It didn't have those same barriers as a storefront would have with having to come in and be responsible for so much overhead. So our overhead here is lower, and we also have a business resource center where there's a team of folks that are helping us through every step of the process and connecting us with other resources that will help our business grow.
Oh, just well, if you don't mind sharing, and it doesn't have to be exactly what you pay, but what is like a range of what your rent is like there?
Yeah, no problem. So the shipping containers start at a 10 by 10 or you can go up to, well, I'm in the 20 by 20, and there's one a little bit bigger than ours, and the price ranges from 300 to 900 a month. And
Oh
so
my
all of the
goodness.
boxes, yeah, and it's really cost effective,
Oh my
right?
goodness.
And
Yes.
there's a community of us here. So we're able to really, share each other's energy, share customers,
Mhm.
learn. We get a chance to grow with each other. I mean, every business that's here now, when you look up in a couple years, you're going to see the growth, and you're going to say, wow, they all started, or they got their first storefront space out of a shipping container. It's an awesome concept.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And one of the things that I really love about shipping containers just in general is that you can stack those bad boys. So
Hmm.
realistically, nobody really has to go anywhere unless they just want to. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Because
Exactly.
you're not going to be in Macy's or any kind of mall for between $300 and $900 a month. It's just not going to happen, especially
Hmm.
not in Chicago and nor in Atlanta. Our kiosks are over $1,000. So,
Yes, yes. The storefronts here, they're 1,300, 1,500, and
wow.
starting off. And so one of the things that if you just get a typical storefront, it lacks that community feel. And that's what
Yeah.
Boxville has. Boxville has a community. And ironically enough, all of the enterprise owners here, we all knew each other before coming to Boxville. We just all happened to gravitate and become a part of this space. But
Beautiful.
it offers more than what you get in a traditional storefront space.
And now, in what way? Like a typical, just for those who aren't aware of the dynamics, obviously, we're in business, so we kind of get that it's a great opportunity. But for those who are novice to this, what is it that makes the opportunity that you have there different from someplace else?
Yeah, I think the number one opportunity is the resource center that we have, the incubator space, right? And so, yes, incubators exist. This is the first of its sorts on the south side of Chicago, here in historical Bronzeville. And so through that space, they're able to help us navigate the nuances of being a new business. Now, a lot of us have been what I consider myself, I hustled for a lot of years. I started in 2013, and I've just now made that transition into actual a business. So it was my version, and what I think a lot of us observe it as market research, our own version of market research through the hustling aspect. And so that's what
Mhm.
the incubator space does. It takes us from that hustle to the business. And so I spoke about the resources, and it can be things as simple as connecting us so that we can become legal entities with the state or legal entities with the city, or resources for accounting, or resources for um, obtaining procurements and accessing contracts and bids that are accessible throughout the city. But not just that, it gives you a comfortable space where you can build out your own. And before, if there's an opportunity, I like to show you guys Boxville. I'm on the computer, and I don't mind just taking it around. I'm on the laptop and taking it around so people can get a visual. But then within that, there's a community which is very strong, right? Because that's how everyone gets their start, and that's how we're able to really expand, right? You grow a trusted fan base. So all of us brought our own customers here, and then
Mm,
we're now sharing our customers with each other,
beautiful.
which just
Beautiful.
continues to aid into the growth of our businesses, right? We're able to bounce ideas. We can talk about our experiences with staff and be able to give those pro tips. We have people who are veterans like Will of Be Creative that was here from the beginning, and
Mm,
he started off in a 10 by 10, and he's in the biggest shipping container we have. I don't know the dimensions, but it's bigger than mine. I'm in the 20 by 20. He's in one that's a lot larger, and it's taller, and it has the heating system already in the what is it, HVAC X, Y, and Z system built
yeah.
out into this box, right? So you get an opportunity to really see how your business can scale without having to absorb all of that overhead,
Mhm,
right? And
mhm.
so storefronts are great because they have their own. Everything has its ups and downs, right? So
Right.
we're part of a developing team. So there are things that we don't have. Where in a storefront right away built out, there's a bathroom system there, but we
Mhm.
go over into our incubator space to use a bathroom. But it's something that's being worked out. So those challenges of like electricity, they had to build that system into
Right.
the shipping containers. Things like internet, right? So there are things that in a shipping container you have to go through that trial and error phase. Where
Right.
in a traditional storefront, the landlord has all that set,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
And you know what? That's just the growing pains of it, because even though you may go into a let's say a strip mall, number one, there's no guarantee that there's going to be any foot traffic, so that becomes a challenge. And then even if you do have, you know, the standard utility connections, I mean, anything can happen. I know you know that, where the power bill becomes ridiculous or the water bill is ridiculous, and you're like, we only have water to wash our hands and flush the toilet. Why is it $1,000 a month? You know, so being able to share those utilities, like, that's huge. That's a huge burden that you don't have to absorb. So now tell us about Synergy Foods. Like, how did that start, and what is Synergy Foods?
all right. So, what's Synergy Foods? Synergy Foods is a business that's literally all about bringing the energies and connecting everyone, right? So, naturally, by faith, I'm a connector, and that's what Synergy does, right? We connect people with fresh quality fruits and vegetables. We create different concepts that aren't traditional through our produce markets and through our sweet treat collection line of caramel apples. So that's Synergy. Synergy is all about the energy, right? And so I stated before, we got started back in 2013, built out of a frustration of living in the food desert. And through that, I hustled. I was on a hustle mission for several years of just really doing my own version of market research. What works, what doesn't work, what do communities really need? There was a huge initiative in the city around the time when I got started about placing popular grocery stores into food desert communities, into urban communities, primarily where African Americans live throughout the city. And so these larger chains, I guess through their partnerships with the city of Chicago, they gave us a few grocery stores in areas like Bronzeville and areas like Inglewood. And I know that they had some initiative and focus to do like Roseland and other communities. And so my thing is that for me, I grew up living in the food desert. And so I never understood, it never even made sense, or I never even questioned, why did I travel outside our area on Saturday mornings with my mom to grocery shop? So we may have gone to our neighborhood local market to get a quick item, you know, something that's probably already packaged.
Right.
But when it came to us shopping for fruits and vegetables, we always went outside of our area. And the reason being is that my mother was going to get the quality and also items, you know, variety items of produce. And so in 2013, all of that started to just kind of take a play in my mind. And I started to like realize that, yo, this is not accidental. This is definitely strategic. And there's a reason. And so it plays into the whole system of what we don't even have to go into. We all know how this works, right? But when you start identifying, and that's what it was, I started identifying. And I was like, wait, this food system, right, it's intentional that our food system is this way. It's intentional that we have more liquor stores and corner stores and fast food chains in our community than we have actual grocery stores. So if I went up north in Chicago, I can go and there'll be 4 of the larger brands, right? And within several blocks competing with each other. But on the south side, in my own community, to get to a prominent grocery store, it would be several miles away. And so several neighborhoods were sharing one centralized grocery store when you would go up north, and their neighborhoods would have multiple chains of those stores or different stores in the area. And so it was just like, what can I do? You know, what can I do to play a part and help affect my community? And so throughout this, and I'm still learning. There's in no way, shape or form have I solved the problem, right? I literally have been working on learning how the system actually works. And we've been successful through our produce markets. You know, you guys have to just, you know, come visit us when you're in Chicago, check out our social media, our Facebook page. But for me, it was like, how do you build the relationship? And one of the ways where where I am right now is that it's more than just having those items. So I would bring I would pop up in different areas, and we focus a lot on variety. Our primary focus is quality and then competitive pricing, right? And so within that, I saw that it was bigger than just having the items there.
Right.
This well runs so deep that it's more about the education too. It's not even just about access. So it can be right there and present in front of you. And if you don't know, then you're not going to purchase. So one of the things that we do too is that we do I have like some little activity S type of things I do, like taste, texture, and smell. And so we always bring in different varieties. That's what we focus on. But I do a lot of tastings. And I always focus and want kids to taste, because that's where we want to catch them, right? We can change the mindsets of adults. That's our job, to learn and want to change our own lifestyle and mindsets. But if we get the kids now, and what I see that happens even when they come to the markets, when they want to get a bag of hot chips, they also want to get this special type of whatever variety of peach, or they want to get the grapes. So our conversation isn't about get rid of, it's about incorporate and learn. And so that's where I am now. So it's not even about, I have the access, I'm putting it out, but I need to learn how I can make the full connection to actually, make it so that it's blended in life.
Now, there are quite a few things that you said, because you were dropping the jewels. Quite a few things that I was thinking about that you were sharing. The first one is I'm fascinated by those of us who live internationally, right? Or live overseas. And I'm really big on also building programs in other countries. And one of the things that I notice is that as Americans, we're very quick to talk about the stories of, let's say, a woman in India who has to walk, 10 kilometers to get to the closest source for her to be able to, use her oven, right? But we don't talk about the Black woman on the west side of Chicago who has to travel an hour and a half to 2 hours on public transportation with her children in tow to get, like you talk about, those fresh groceries. I like you, I traveled with my grandmother, up in age, public transportation, rain, hail, sleet, snow, sunshine, and rain, right? To try to get things that we need. And so what ends up happening is, and it goes to your point about access and education, because we don't have that immediate access, then we reach for the carbs that kill us, the killer carbs, right? We reach for the bodega to get the hot chips. And I forgot these little things that the children are eating now. What are they called?
The Takis.
Oh God.
Or the Flamin' Hots.
Yeah, the Takis, the death in a bag.
Red dye number 5.
Yes, all the dye is up in there, But the fact that you're doing this, sis, is really huge, because you're educating, you're giving that access. And when we talk about COVID-19 and the number of cases, number of us especially being negatively impacted, it all goes back to our diet. So you are pre-COVID-19, preventative doctor of the community. And I hope you see yourself that way, because that's what you are, sis. I'm like this. Somebody told me a long time ago, if somebody doesn't necessarily have the training to be called an electrician, but they're the ones that can connect stuff and turn the power on, then that's an electrician.
Then an electrician.
So my thing is, if you can provide that access and that education to help us make healthier choices with our food, and it improves the quality of our health, yes, sis, you doc, you dad.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how have you been? I noticed that you said you have children that come. What has been the response from our young people, especially? Are they excited when they see you? Are they curious?
It's a mixture of everything, right? There's curiosity, there's excitement, there's a moment of being overwhelmed. I've seen teen or kids be shy. And so like one of my things is that I'm always like, here, try this, try it out. And it feels so good when a kid actually tries, because they'll be resistant for some.
Yes.
There's some that are like, let me try it. But for those that are resistant, like, I've never seen that, or what's that taste like? The typical questions that you would ask if you've never had something. And then for them to open up because there's something trusting, I guess, even like to see the produce laid out on the table. And there are other people encouraging, you know how our people are. So they like, come on, little sister, go ahead, try that out. So that encouragement, that extra encouragement, and that boost is what probably opens up the young people. But it's always great to see their reaction to something, right?
Yes.
Like, and have some really great moments and memories. I remember this one young kid, he tried a kiwi, and it was his first time having kiwi. And he was like, this is great. And it was just so great. And it was so powerful. And it was just like, I didn't care if I didn't make any money that day at that market, that day was worth it, because that was the point. Because guess what? When he goes to the store with his mother, grandmother, aunt, uncle, dad, brother, sister, he may say, can I get a kiwi along with whatever he typically will get from the store? And that's really the whole purpose. The whole purpose is really to give and also expose our youth to other varieties, right? Like typically in school, because I have an education background, I work in the school system. And so one of the things when I actually worked in the classroom was being at lunch and kids being like, I would bring something. And I remember this one was like, that's a real big orange, Miss Holmes. That's a real big orange. And it was a grapefruit, but they never had a grapefruit before. Oh, wow. And it was just so awesome to be able to share and be able to give that experience. So that when you get older and you go out to restaurants or you're in stores, you already know, right? You're expanding, your palate in a sense too. So
that is phenomenal. So now, we can't wait to see a tour, right? We're ready.
You ready?
If you are. Oh yes, come on, let's do it.
I'm ready. We going
so let me tour,
here, give me a second. All right, we're on the laptop, so don't judge me because I haven't given a laptop tour. And the camera's gonna be this way. And you guys know it was snowing here in Chicago. And so all the snow is melting. Let me grab this. So this is my space here. I'm inside of the Apple lab working. And so people come, the sun is glaring, I don't know. But people go to the window over there and they purchase, and this is our refrigerator space. Oh, I just tripped on that chair. Don't worry, I'm okay.
Woo.
All right, so this is Boxville. I'm going to show you these shipping containers here.
Oh wow!
So the first one. The one in the yellow sells tea. The one in the pink is my niece. She does incense oils and readings. And then I'm going to walk so I can give you guys an actual full view. Look. So in the back, there are two more. There's a bistro box, delicious burrito tacos, Lucy's Amazing Chef. The snack box is now an open box. So if you know someone in Chicago, they should come over and inquire about the box that's open. So this is my baby. Right here that you see, the one with the fruits and vegetables painted on it.
Beautiful.
And in the summertime on the market, I have the tables. Well, the marketplace, will have tables and chairs set up, but I have my markets and I have tables where I have my fruits and vegetables.
That's beautiful. I love it.
So I'm going to show you, there's one down there, the hot dog box. I'm going to walk around to the back as well. I want to show you guys.
Oh,
something else that's cool. And so my friend painted the artwork on my box because it's fruits and vegetables.
Oh,
her name is Spifster. This is our love fridge that you see there. So it's a community fridge, so people can come and add anything that they want, or you can take whatever you want. And then on the other side is dry items.
Oh, that's dope.
Our friends, this is the biggest box here. So it starts at the blue and goes all the way here to the red.
Oh,
they're a t-shirt screen printing company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's some really solid businesses here at Boxville. Oh, they're actually open. Do you mind? Yo, go. Wow. I'm doing an interview. I'm just showing these folks around. So this is the t-shirt printing. just to show you guys just different views of what our boxes look like.
Yeah.
So you can come up here and get.
Oh, this is awesome, y'all.
Yeah. The blue one in the front I showed you is a vegan restaurant. They follow Dr. Sebi's food list and items. So, I mean, there's some just cool business, athletic store around the corner. Yeah. So
nice.
Foxville. I love it. Everyone's in shipping containers.
I absolutely love it. Look, well, we will be there when the snow is gone.
Yes.
I don't do snow. But if you're in Chicago, you're used to it. So go ahead and go to historic Bronzeville and support our sister.
Yes. Come to historic Bronzeville.
Oh, that was wonderful, sis. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you for having me again on the show.
Thank you for taking us on that tour. Hold the line now, because we got a brother who's kind of come on, and he's going to talk about what he's doing in Miami. Now, everybody knows I brought him on for my birthday Black business pop-up show, and I refer to him as $1 Billion Nate. That's what I call him. My children call him Uncle $1 Billion Nate. However, for everyone else, it is Mr. Nathaniel Crawford. Build every day better, y'all. How you doing? Look, it feels strange to call you Nathaniel.
Yes, I understand. It feels weird to hear you say it.
I know. So see, Sister Leah is in Chicago, so where the cold and the snow is, but they got dope historic Bronzeville. Now we're coming to Miami. You got to do the dance because you're in Miami with the heat.
I'm a little rusty.
You're a little rusty. So please tell us about what you have going on in Miami.
Well, we build single-family homes, among other things, here in sunny South Florida. So right now we have roughly about a little over 80 homes that are in some stage of process. We're building the first luxury container community in Fort Lauderdale. Awesome. We have partnered with Miami-Dade County to build some affordable homes as well. And we're doing some market rate stuff as well. So townhomes, luxury, single family, and everything in between.
Awesome. And of course, before we get out of here, I got to make sure that I take a moment. Let's just pause for the cause. I want to thank my incredible sponsors for sponsoring BBI Talks. It is the National Reparations Institute. Yes, the declaration is available. So if you want to know how much we are owed in reparation, get your declaration through the National Reparations Institute. And that's nationalreparationsinstitute.org. Okay? And then, of course, we also have a vegan nail polish line called 9th and Maxwell. Yes, sisters, we can get the nails done without the formaldehyde that they use to embalm dead bodies with. Yes. And we can actually get something that is healthy, that is it protects the environment, protects the animals, and protects us, right? So 9th and Maxwell is one of our other sponsors, and we thank her so much for being a part of the BBI Talks family. I also want to take a moment to thank those of you who are watching on Instagram. What's going on? William Kunstler, who is a regular here on BBI Talks. Brother Clarence, a newbie, welcome to BBI Talks. It's so great to have new people join us for the conversation, as well as Brother Christopher Bird. Thank you for joining BBI Talks, brother. Salute. All right, so now we're coming back to the conversation. Now, Brother Nathaniel, I really would love for you to kind of give a little bit of background on how you even got started with Build Every Day Better, because I think that's a really important part of the story as well.
Okay, so I've been here in South Florida selling real estate full time for about 10 years now. Mm-hmm. I grew up between South Miami and Southwest Atlanta. When I first came back selling real estate, I primarily focus on luxury stuff. Spent a lot of time in luxury space. So I spent a lot of time around developers and condos and a lot of really sexy stuff. And in that environment, one of the things that I noticed, because that's not where I grew up at, is the disparity between what I would see when I was working on $1 million condos and what I would see when I went back to sleep in my grandfather's house at the time. And talking to those developers about, hey, well, why aren't y'all building over here? Or why aren't you building, more affordable middle class stuff? So not necessarily stuff for the poor folks, but just for working class people, the people that get up and go to work every day. And the response I would get all the time was that the land was too expensive. We can't build a $300,000, $400,000 house in South Florida because a quarter acre of land costs $250,000. So we can't build it profitably. So I set out to sort of figure out, well, how can we address that? We can't lower the cost of land, but we can lower construction costs. So that's sort of how I got there. And I originally looked at a lot of 3D printing and stuff like that, which is still coming along. And I think that may be a big part of the future of real estate. However, the more mature piece of that innovative technology was shipping containers. So I was able to get my business, Build Every Day Better. Once I sort of started down that path and found some mentors, we got accepted into the business incubator over at FIU, Florida International University. So I got some access to some grad students and some student labor, some patents, and some other stuff to just sort of get advice and insight. I got some mentors and was able to partner with some people who were already building container homes here in South Florida, a company called Ecotainer Concept. So, and them having sort of the mature process, they had the experience of building the homes combined with my network of being in that environment of those luxury developers. And I can call the guys who have the billions of dollars to spend on the land, and having the experience of how they approach development. Me partnering with them, we were able to do some networking, and that's how a lot of the projects we're working on now sort of came to fruition. Me being able to network on the community side, and then add that, my network from that piece to the luxury space. So what we're really hoping to do now is to sort of scale that in both directions, so to speak, so we can build more luxury stuff, but also be able to build more affordable stuff as well. So we're focused on patents and innovation and different ways to really grow what we're doing in a meaningful way.
Now, you mentioned about the 3D printing. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so how does that work? Because I'm not familiar with that. I don't know if the audience is. They are obviously.
Well, it is literally. And it's really cool. Some really cool stuff out there now. If you Google 3D printing, they have machines that can literally print you a house. So it's a really big machine. It has some special. It doesn't use traditional concrete, but it's a pretty large machine. They're doing a lot of really innovative stuff in South America and some other third world countries where they're building much smaller homes. But in environments where people just need shelter, 3D printing homes, being able to print a 200 square foot structure where someone can sleep instead of being exposed to the elements in 24 hours is game changing in some of these places. So I think long term, as that technology sort of matures, and it's getting there, because there's some guys in Texas that are doing some really interesting stuff with that now. As that technology becomes more mature, I think we'll see a lot more of that in the future. But right now, because of how mature the container construction industry, or the modular construction industry as a whole is, we're seeing a lot more of the opportunities for you to be able to shorten your construction time, lower construction costs using shipping containers.
Wow. So with that said, what do you anticipate as being the future direction for shipping containers? I mean, obviously it's being used now, like in the case of Synergy Foods, as an opportunity for storefront You're offering it in terms of luxury housing as well as affordable housing. So, and then you also have office suites as well, which I hope you're going to talk about as well. So what do you see as being the future of shipping containers?
Yeah. Well, I think we're, from a residential perspective, specifically in the South Florida, just the southern U.S. and the Caribbean, I hate to put it this way, but we're basically probably one disaster away from shipping container construction taking off. You know, when we talk to people about how strong and how resilient the containers are versus a lot of traditional construction, they're like, yeah, okay, we believe that. But what I think is ultimately going to happen is we'll see a hurricane. We'll see, some sort of natural disaster, and you'll see those, that stereotypical news footage of, some, decimated area, and there'll be a container home that's still standing up. And then everybody wants a container home. So I think from a traditional housing perspective, that's sort of where we're at. I think in other places, much like the pop-up shops, the sister you had earlier was talking about, that we're doing pods, so we can do yoga pods and fitness pods for people's backyards, office space, the same thing, office pods. In those cases, I think it's just a matter of more adoption. More broad adoption, and more people coming into these industries that are focused, frankly, that are focused on making an impact just as much as they're focused on making money. We are probably the most competitive container construction developer I know here in South Florida, if not in the country. And we're just focused on South Florida right now because a lot of other people that are building very novelty, unique products. And because they're building those things, they're able to charge, $100, $200, $300 a square foot more than what we'll charge. So as you see more people getting into it, saying, hey, yeah, we want to make some money, but we also want to serve these underserved areas. We don't want to just replace luxury traditional real estate with luxury container real estate because the margins are wider. We want to be able to do that, but we also want to build some more affordable homes, because these are places where we can pass on the savings that we get in construction development to the people that are actually buying the homes. So I think as you see more people sort of coming in trying to do both of those things, it'll grow.
So now, sustainability wise, are we looking at there being enough shipping containers? Should that, and God forbid, but we know that's one of those inevitable things. Are there enough shipping containers to accommodate for housing if, when we run into a situation where we need to provide emergency housing or even long-term housing?
Yes. And the reason I say that is, part of our goal when we build there, with the exception of California, where they require you to build with new shipping containers. So in California, you cannot use pre-owned or used shipping container or seaborne containers. You have to buy a new container straight from the factory to build a home with, which in my opinion defeats the purpose. Part of what we're doing is we get certified containers from different shipyards, here in South Florida, because what often happens is, because as we all know, the United States is the largest consumer of things in the world. And in many cases where these countries export goods to us, it is cheaper for them to send the container and just leave it here than it is for them to send the container after the container is unloaded, for them to pay to have the container sent back. And because of that, we literally have millions of shipping containers all over the world, not just here in the United States, languishing in shipyards because whoever paid to have them sent there is not using them. And there aren't enough industries right now that are actively going to these shipyards and buying them. So when that becomes when there becomes a much higher demand for containers, I think it'll be a while before we run out of containers. And by that time, I think also that the maturity of 3D printing may have caught up. So I'm very interested to see over, say, the next 5 to 10 years, how the competition, or how the market sort of fragments around 3D printing homes versus, you know, container homes.
Now, I wanted to ask you, because I know you are very passionate also, not only about the luxury properties, but also about the affordable housing. Why is it that we're not using these shipping containers for our homeless population?
Well, that is, in most cases, a political issue more than a financial issue. It takes a little bit of money, not much, relatively speaking, but the challenge that we have here in South Florida, I know it's a challenge in DC because I just talked to a sister there about it. And I know it's a challenge in Georgia, is that most municipalities, most cities have a minimum square footage that they require a structure to have in order for it to be considered a single family structure. Okay. So in order for something to be considered a house, it has to be a certain size. In most cases, that size is over 700 square feet. A single container is around, depending on whether it's a 45 or 40-foot container, is around 300 square feet. Gotcha. So a 40-foot container is 320 square feet. So the problem is that I can't take a single container. I can take one and convert it into a 2-bedroom, 1-bath now. But I can't send it anywhere because there's no municipality that will recognize it as a single family structure. Gotcha. And because of that, then it makes it harder for you as a nonprofit to say, I'm going to go out and buy an acre of land and I need to get utilities put out here. So we can put solar panels on them to offset the electrical costs, but they still need plumbing. So to go to the city and say, hey, well, I need plumbing for 15 containers that are housing homeless veterans. Well, if you were to do that on an acre of land, it'd be incredibly profitable and it would also be incredibly impactful. But getting a municipality to allow you to do that is the challenge. So whether it be homeless veterans, you know, kids who are aging out of the foster care system, there are all types of very specific disaster relief. We still have people in Puerto Rico that are homeless from the last 2 hurricanes, and we're about to head into another hurricane season. And we have the same issue there. We have the same issue on Abaco Island in the Bahamas. All of these places are still struggling with a fundamental disconnect that says, well, in order for it to be a house, it has to have this minimum square footage. And until we can figure out how to address that meaningfully in one place, so you have a good case study to say, well, hey, we did this in Southwest Atlanta, or we did this in, you know, North Miami. From that, then other people have some sort of model to adopt. But beyond that, if you don't have that political will to get those changes made, I think it's going to be challenging for a while.
Okay, I appreciate that. Sister Leah, we're going to bring you back in this conversation. Okay. Because I love the dynamics of this, pardon the pun. I love the synergy of it all. The
synergy of it all.
I had to go there, sis. I had to go there. Okay, so I wanted to ask the both of you, and you can choose who will answer, you know, what question. As Black business owners in particular, did you find that finding funding or finding support for what it is that you're doing, especially as it relates to shipping containers, was difficult? And if you could name maybe some of those challenges that you encountered and how you were able to overcome them, if you were able to overcome them.
Yeah, so for me, the bulk of the work was already done here because they had already purchased the containers. They've already weatherized them and did the insulation. But in terms of personalizing it, like I had to get it painted. I put personalized floors down and as such. I ended up being blessed. Not that my dying was a blessing, but my aunt passed away a lot of years ago. And it's so interesting that right at the time of me opening this up, I got word of funds available to me. And it just, I totally believe in divine order. And it was just nothing but in divine order. I've been doing this since 2013. So if it was meant to be, then it would have been available to me then. Right. And all the times in between. But this here is the point, like I said, that pinnacle of where we've switched from the hustle to a business, and that access came to me for it. So, but there are so many challenges of not being able to have the funds that's needed to keep it going. But this machine is running, and I'm so blessed that I haven't lost throughout this process. I haven't lost $1 yet. So I'm so blessed in that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
Brother Nathaniel.
That's dope.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. For me, the real estate portion of my business, that's just my traditional real estate sales, has been what has helped me. You know, I've been blessed to sort of encounter some people that were interested in helping. But honestly, it's just hard to get folks to invest. And after a certain point, you know, you and I have talked over the years, Renee, about other ventures that I've had, and just I got tired of trying to ask people for money. So I go sell the real estate, and I use a portion of the real estate funds to put into what we're doing here. The guys that I'm working with over at Ecotainer, they have existing investors that those particular investors, all they care about is their return on investment. So they don't care whether it's traditional real estate, container houses, or whatever. They can they care. And I'm thankful that, you know, I was able to partner with them. So that allows me to just be able to use my real estate skill set to find the investment, find the land that they need, and then flip that. So being able to do those things and sort of be self-funded to the degree that once we sort of reach the tipping point we were talking about earlier, I think then the money will come, you know, because right now there are still, especially when it comes to just African-American people in tech and startups, you know, entrepreneurs, we get less money. You know, Black women get less money than Black men. There's just not a lot of people out there that are investing in us at all. And what I found in my entrepreneurial journey as a whole is once you start making money, then everybody wants to be a part of it. You know, that whole Mike Jones, you know, back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot.
Now I'm hot.
But, you know, but it's real. You know, once the moment of someone that we worked with, or someone that we wanted to work with, and didn't want to talk to us, and then they heard somebody else mention us, and magically they remember your phone number. So I think that's, unfortunately, at least right now, that's where we as entrepreneurs of color spend a lot of time. And then as we get more of us who are coming up through this ecosystem make the money, then we know how that feels. Then we become more likely to reach back and give people money because we can see that they're going through what we went through.
So, I mean, powerful, both of you. What is it that we as a Black community can do to better support you in your endeavors? What can we do?
You know,
you got it, Liz.
Go for it. I got it. All right, I know, because I know what we can do. You know what I'm looking for. I already know I'm here. What I'm looking for is solid feedback. I want to be able to, in a sense, and then not just be like, yo, I like your product or whatever. I want to hold and think tanks with our people to really be able to help grow and develop the business, because the company itself is only as good as the needs that it's serving, in a sense, for me, right? And so that's what I need. I need people to share and talk about our business. I need people to purchase, because the only way for my business to grow and be able to be of any service as a whole is that product is selling. So those are the three things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for feedback, ways about growth and how the business service you. I'm looking for people to share and talk about, and then I'm looking for folks to purchase.
Awesome. Brother Nathaniel.
And I'd piggyback on that, because obviously, yes, I think patronizing Black businesses is important. But what I would add to it is you got to talk about us. And I mean that in a positive sense, but like gossip talk. I've had conversations with very powerful people in banking, in all types of in entertainment industries. And it's like, man, how are all these people buying houses and buying $1 million condos? And when we see it on TMZ, their real estate agent wasn't black. You know, wherever they got that service from wasn't black. So if I asked that question, and I've been told on multiple occasions, well, hey, you know, I know celebrities that would have bought from you if they knew you existed. Well, if the only way they can know I exist, I can only do so much marketing on my own.
Right.
So part of that has to be that when we find out someone who's good at something, we shout it from the mountaintops. Yeah. Because if you found out somebody that was bad at something, if you bought a house from me and you hated it, if I showed you some rusty containers or something, I'd be all over Facebook and Instagram, and YouTube, and all these things. So
say that
if you're going to be that aggressive about, you know what I mean? So if you're going to be that aggressive about the negative stuff, then be equally as aggressive about the positive stuff, and make sure that we're really being intentional about putting those dollars where we want them to be. I think also sometimes we have what I call the car dealership problem. Is when somebody's going out to buy, say, a car, you walk into a car dealership, see a brother to your right, see, you know, white dude to your left, and you're gonna walk over to the brother because y'all made eye contact, you're gonna talk to him. If you walk into that same car dealership and you see two white salesmen, you don't walk out of the dealership. You just pick whichever one's there and you buy the car you came to buy. So making an intentional effort now, and I realize that it's not black folks selling everything. It's black folks selling almost everything, but it's not black folks selling everything. Being intentional about that, and at least making a meaningful effort to spend those dollars in places that are impactful. And then when you find that vendor, telling people about that, I think that's something that can really be or will be, because it's going to happen. It'll be a game changer for us.
Awesome. Well, you know, BBI Talks is attempting to be at least present a platform that contributes to that. Prayerfully, as people watch the show, share the show, and they get to really meet you, even though they didn't meet you in person, just us having this conversation, they're going to feel like they know you better. And so prayerfully, it will increase the chances of them wanting to patronize your business. And when they have those experiences, you know, as it, you know, stands thus far, they have come back and told me and others what their experiences were like. And thank God, all of the responses have been favorable to the Black-owned businesses that we have showcased. I think I agree with everything that the both of you have shared. If I could add just one thing to it, it would be, you know, when we have these experiences, tell other people yes, but then also require those people to tell other people. You know, I remember I was reading, I forget which one of the books, I want to say it was Think and Grow Rich, and they said, don't let the silent customer kill your business. And that's the negative side of it, right? So you go into a shop, you have a poor experience, you don't say anything, and then you leave. But then you tell all your friends, oh, that business, this happened, that happened, this third, right? We have to understand that we have Black excellence in our businesses, and that is the norm, not the exception. So when you have these favorable experiences, it's our responsibility to share those positive experiences, but then also ask our friends to find other people that you can refer to those businesses to. That's how we can kind of move beyond that initial grouping of people and really start to make a long-term impact. So now, Sister Leah, you mentioned you could really use feedback. What types of things do you currently have in place that helps you get that feedback?
So I utilize the chat or the comment features on social media when I ask questions. I do a lot of call to action type of things for folks so that they can actually like engage with, and I can actually get that feedback in terms of like growth and really what the customer wants. And the Google reviews, and I need to build out a Yelp page so people can give me that the Yelp reviews too, but primarily the social media platforms.
Awesome. 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 And how about you, Brother Nathaniel?
Yeah. Well, social media, that's the vast majority of what I do. You know, my bread and butter business is still selling real estate. So we do significant amount of business on the container stuff, but my day-to-day life is spent selling condos, selling single family homes, stuff like that, land deals. And most of my business is referrals. My business is built on my reputation. So, you go to Zillow, you go to Redfin, you go to realtor.com, you go to my Facebook page, these places, and I'm there, I'm posting, good feedback, bad feedback. Thankfully, I don't have no bad feedback online, at least none that I know of. But that's the key. I get better because, people tell me that, you're good and this, I like this, I didn't like this about the process. We can work on this, those types of things. And I actively ask for feedback and, expect to get that level of transparency. If you didn't like it, tell me you didn't like it. Don't say, oh yeah, well, it was okay. That's the key.
Absolutely. And the reason why I asked that question of the both of you is because it's important for us to know what is the best vehicle to get your attention, the most appropriate vehicle, because, nature abhors a vacuum. So we're going to find a way, and it may not be the best way, right? So at least they know how they can reach out to you. If you wouldn't mind sharing your contact information, let's start with Sister Leah. How can they reach you? If you can give the address of where historic Bronzeville is, so that we can go out there and get those nice caramel dip apples that I love oh so much.
Yeah, so you can anyone can visit us at our storefront space, well, our Boxville space, 330 East 51st Street. It's the corner of 51st and Calumet in Chicago, Illinois. But you can purchase our apples and get updates on our produce markets on our website, www.synergyfoodshy.com. That's synergyfoodschy@gmail.com. That's the email, but synergyfoodshy.com. Updates on the apples. You can place ship. We ship to all 50 states. So yeah, you can visit us there, or also on our Instagram as well, Synergy Foods.
Awesome. And come spring, summer, God willing, we will be visiting you in person, and hopefully we can broadcast live from Synergy Foods, from historic Bronzeville. Okay, you feeling it?
Yeah. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling all of
that. We got to take this show on the road, mask and all. And so, right. And Brother Nathaniel, how can we get in contact with you? And please share something about your office suites. I don't want to forget how you owe me an office suite, and that might be on your next Instagram post. But yes.
Yes. So we have the ability to convert single containers into offices. Our offices here in Miami Gardens are all containers. Well, half of the facility is the office, the other half is the manufacturing facility, but it's completely built out of containers. We can ship around the world. To find me online, Build Everyday Better. That's Build Everyday Better on Instagram, Build Everyday Better on Facebook. And for me personally, Mr. Crawford on Twitter. They call me Mr. Crawford on Instagram, and Nathaniel Crawford on Facebook. So in either of those places, I'm always sharing new container content, new developments, all types of stuff, and just real estate stuff in general.
Awesome. So I want y'all
to make a visit to Nathaniel, because I need to learn that concept and everything from him too, and what's happening out there.
Oh yes, look, he already knows we're coming to Miami. So
right, I'm coming to Miami.
He already knows.
You know I'm family, Nathaniel. You know I'm
Absolutely.
family.
Absolutely.
He already knows. Look, I've already decided we're going to take a bike ride, because he films himself on his bicycle riding through luxury real estate in Miami. Oh, you guys got to check him out on Instagram. He's so extra, right? He's riding through with his jazz music and all this beautiful homes that we can't afford yet. But there are people out there that can. So please seek out Brother Nathaniel Crawford so you can get your luxury real estate. But it's so beautiful and it's so peaceful when he does it. Really, y'all, check him out on Instagram for real. And then what I want to do, though, I want to play a clip from Build Everyday Better, if that's okay, because I want people to be able to see what the shipping containers that you work with, Brother Nathaniel, look like. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and so Sister Leah, if you could hold on to the line, because once we come back from that clip, it's about a minute or so, I would like to get your closing thoughts, okay? And then contact information one last time, and then we're going to close out, okay? Yes. All right, here we go. So let me go ahead and show this beautiful shipping container out of Miami, y'all. Oh, that's beautiful. The video is on YouTube called The Shipping Container House is Coming of Age. Awesome. Beautiful shipping container, y'all. Ooh. Awesome. 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 Yes. I got to give a soul clap for that.
Yeah, a real soul clap.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Instagram. Y'all can hear the music. You can see me rocking side to side, but you couldn't see the video. So you're going to have to go on Facebook or YouTube. Matter of fact, subscribe to YouTube. How about that? Okay, so now closing comments on Black business in containers. Closing thoughts. Let's start with you, Sister Leah.
All right. Okay. I'll go. My closing comments, Black businesses and shipping containers, is give it a try. If you're new to business, established in business, think outside the box, open yourself up and be willing to try something that's not traditional. You'll find that you actually love the concept. You can get as creative as you want. To our customers, come on out and also be just as open to the concept of not shopping in a traditional space. Mm-hmm. Open up your mind and be willing to experience something new. It's definitely a great and joyous experience. And just my general comment, period, to Black businesses, let's stick forth through this, and let's always offer top #1 customer service. Mm-hmm. Our customers matter, and they are the true and core to our businesses.
Awesome. 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 Thank you. Well said. All right now, Brother Nathaniel, I know you come behind. She dropped some jewels on you, so you got to come strong, brother.
Yeah, well, all I got is stay focused. Stay focused, and networking is key. There are a lot of people out here that have done a lot of work prior to us getting into this business, and a lot of them are happy to share their work, so you don't have to make the same mistakes they made. I am one of them. If you got questions, feel free, call me, DM me, send me. I get messages all the time from people who have questions about floor plans and welding techniques and all types of other stuff. So, ask for help, network, stay focused, don't stop.
Absolutely. And spoken from someone who is the definition of one who has great tenacity. He does not quit. He does not. And that's one of many things that I absolutely admire about my big brother. So I want to thank you both for joining BBI Talks. This has been a wonderful show, just great information, great energy, great spirit, and great information. So, we pray for your continued success in everything that you're doing. We pray for blessings and expansion. And please check out my family, okay? Synergy Foods, thank you.
Yes. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Check them out on Instagram and on Facebook and patronize our businesses, y'all. I'll see y'all next week, same time, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, every Wednesday. BBI Talks is the place where Black business owners discuss issues that matter to us. Peace.
We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad, they gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man, get what I need out the land. The earth is the kingdom of God. Glad that I know where I am. We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad, they gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. Glad that I know where I am.